I think for us, over the 30 years, the biggest contributor to our current performance has really been the stability of the management and the ownership of the group. We've had essentially the same ownership for 30 years, and the management team have been with me now for almost 15 years, most of the senior management team, and that's enabled us to have a look at more longer-term strategies and short-term strategies. Sharing our vision with our franchisees and our partners is really important, whether they are franchised in the local domestic market or whether they're our licensed partners overseas. It's really important to build that connection, but also that consistent view of how you want to execute your strategies in those regions. Clearly technology is one of them, and your ability to use technology to connect to your consumer and to better understand your consumer. I think that's absolutely critical for any retailer and certainly critical for a franchisor like us. But technology must always be an aid to customer service. It can never be the replacement for that personal service. So we try to blend the technology and the quality of the service together to better understand our consumer. The other trend that's been very noticeable, of course, is sustainability, and we're doing so much work in recycling and ensuring that we're using local produce that comes from Australia across both our brands. And the other trend, I think, which everyone needs to be part of is product. Understanding how your product connects to the consumer and the different choices the consumer has today with regards to either a lactose-free coffee or a soy coffee or a protein meal or, of course, a gluten-free meal, and making sure that we're in tune with the consumer. Vegan, for example, is a latest trend which we're embracing in both our brands, and we've had a lot of success just recently in Muffin Break with our new vegan range, and Jamaica Blue will be bringing out a new vegan range very shortly as well. Over the last few years in franchising and across small business in general, we've seen a margin squeeze which has put a lot of pressure on retailers to ensure that they get the correct return on their investment. And franchisors are no different. We have to look at our model regularly, and particularly over the last few years when you've had an explosion in labour components, you've had an explosion in food costs, and of course occupancy costs running at all-time highs. You're in a situation where you really have to make sure that your systems and procedures and processes are in tune with returning the correct return on that investment for our franchise partners. The other challenge I think that exists in franchising is over-regulation. I mean, we've seen the franchising inquiry make some recommendations, and I think you've got to be careful that you don't over-regulate this industry into extinction. You need to make sure that there's a balance between the regulation requirements and the need for people to be entrepreneurial and be able to grow in this current market. The future is very exciting for us. We're in 7 countries around the world. We've got a very strong domestic portfolio, which everyone's aware of, but we've got some great opportunities in the UK. We've also moved our concepts into the convenience area, so we're taking our concept outside of shopping malls into more transit stations, and we have different types of models that we deliver our products and our coffee through. And we're also looking at the drive-through with partnerships with other QSR operators. So we're quite excited about the future. Not only will we continue to grow within the shopping centre portfolio, but we have so many opportunities outside in international markets, but also in other convenience areas in Australia.